All right. You know, back from spring break, first practice out there, guys get to wear pads today. It's fun to see guys suit up and go and fly the ball. I thought there was really good energy at times today, but also felt like we were a team that came back from 2 weeks where we weren't really doing as much active work. So it shows up, a lot of mistakes to correct. Right now, spring ball is not about scheme, right? It's about playing ball, playing fast, figuring out who can play. I think we still got to figure out who our players are. A little thinner on offense than we are on defense, just from a numbers standpoint. So got to be conscientious of that as we rep guys, but want to continue to maximize as many reps as we can get. Open it up.
Well, now that you're able to talk about Tyson Johnson, just what did you see from him at Ole Miss that made him appealing for you at that nickel spot?
Yeah, a guy that's around the ball, you know, makes a lot of plays. I don't think that we have to look at him exclusively as a nickel. I think he's a guy that has position flexibility that we can use at multiple positions. But he's a playmaker, plays with great effort, he's a physical tackler. Has blitz ability, so I think all those things are really appealing.
You mentioned the depth on offense. Just your thoughts on the depth situation right now at wide receiver specifically, how it impacts things now, but even if everybody was healthy, your outlook at that position where on paper you got 9 guys.
Yeah, I don't think it's, I don't think that's as big of a piece. Where there was times we were operating with less last year, right? So it's more about quality than it is necessarily quantity. We have good ones there, and we have more coming in as well, this summer. So it'll be different once we get to season.
What does Matt Rush bring to your quarterback?
Yeah, just a guy that, there's times you find guys that are around, that are on campus that can help you, and if there's somebody that can enhance it from a number standpoint, felt like we had room for another guy that can be out there to help us, that's had some experience as a player. We want to be able to take advantage of it, and Matt has that.
So he was on campus before spring ball started?
Well, we knew that there was a possibility that he could be here for this term.
What goes on for the coaching staff during break? How far away does your mind get from football at all?
Yeah, they take a break. No, I mean, coaches think about football nonstop, right? But just like everybody, everybody needs the chance to charge the battery, and there's not really a lot of time outside of that moment in season. So you try to be organized going into break, have the ability to check in, continue to recruit while you're on break, but spend some time with your family is really important to us too.
Where is the depth and talent most different on defense this spring from even during the season?
I think we probably have a lot more quality defensive line and quality DBs, that can play. But I'll be honest, just from top to bottom, I think there's more that can play. And I've said it before, but the more quality depth that you have that can play, the more players you can play, the better you're going to be on defense.
With Noah, Bennett, and Gonzo obviously moving on, placing a lot of productive guys, but also voice guys, Noah and Bennett in particular. Who do you look at besides Jeff as who could be some of those, not just leaders, but leaders on the field, the voice, the play callers, the shot callers in the secondary?
Yeah, time will tell. Time will tell. It's too early, for us in spring ball to find that. I don't think you anoint people. People got to identify themselves. So we'll see who becomes that.
Speaking of emotional leaders, it looked like Bucky Urban was kind of giving the guys a pep talk, just getting everyone fired up after stretches today. Have you seen him kind of step into that role in year 2 of the program?
I'd love to see it more, right? Bucky's a guy that I think our players respect, from what he's done. But when you're a leader, there's even more that's expected. So when he brings it, it certainly makes our team better. And he did a good job of that today.
Through several practices, what's Will's interactions been like with the players, with the other coaches stepping into the OC role?
Yeah, he's coaching them hard, right? Setting his expectation. I think he coaches with energy and juice, which is great to see, because when you coach like that, your players generally play like that.
As a teacher of the game, just what's your favorite part about this time of the year, spring ball?
The grass, just being on the grass. I like being in the classroom talking. I like seeing the aha moments for players, like, oh wait, that finally clicked, right? And makes sense why we do it the way we do it. But I enjoy that piece.
What are you looking to just see from today to Thursday to Saturday, and then I guess to next Tuesday?
Yeah, consistent growth. I just told the players, like, when these guys get off the field, everyone's going to want to go watch film because they're eager, but first thing they're going to pull up are the plays that they did really well. Right, and the challenge is go focus on the plays you didn't do well. How do we fix those? Right, it's not about the highlights. Right, we can all put together a highlight. It's about the lowlights and how do we eliminate those. So, looking for us not to make the same mistakes Thursday that we made today.
When you and Tosh in particular went over stuff in the offseason, Dan, in terms of just last season, maybe why Havoc wasn't there as much, or third down wasn't as good. How much do you attribute it to, in part, there were 3 DCs here in 3 years, and 4 and 5 years for some guys where it's just a lot of change. If that happened in the NFL, it would be hard. So, on one hand, you don't want to make excuses, but how much do you attribute to some of the growing pains to that is change in systems, change in terminology a lot for guys?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Like you said, I'm not big on excuses. So that'd be an excuse to me. I'm not big on excuses. We'll play better. I think we will.
You mentioned being on the grass. You committed to trying to be outdoors as much as you possibly can in your practice?
Absolutely, especially on beautiful days like today.
What's been your impression of Tez so far through practices?
You know, he's got speed. I think that shows up. He has the ability to get in and out of breaks, can really create separation with that speed. Obviously, he's a little bit lighter, so we got to get him to continue to bulk up and gain weight for him to be a consistent player, because if you take a couple hits at that size, you're not going to be able to be as productive.
Where's the growth that you want to see just over all of spring with Bo, from year 1 to year 2 for him?
Well, I had a long convo with Bo yesterday. There's a big difference in where he is this year compared to where he was last year, right? And it was kind of earning the respect versus he's earned the respect, right? So now it is that leadership role is expected for Bo. Expect him to step up, and he has those traits. He's been that guy. But certainly you want the best from your best players, right? He's proven to be one of our better players, especially in this conference in the nation at quarterback. Want to see that carry over, to the field.
How critical is Jordan Birch to what you're looking to do off the edge, and what that relationship was, in bringing him here from years ago?
Yeah, I mean, you talk about changing a defense. It starts with having guys with great size up front that have the ability to play and have played at a high level. Jordan's done that. Obviously, there's a relationship there before. But really excited about what he can do for our team. He has a demeanor about himself, and I think when you see him at practice, you see how he moves, you say, okay, that's what it's supposed to look like.
When you had him and so many freshman signees on the edge in particular, do you feel like you have the volume of the high gear guys you guys are looking for to create that havoc?
Yeah, I think we have more guys that can, create plays in the backfield for sure.
You've talked a lot about Phil Knight's Shoe Dog being one of your favorite books. Any move that come out tomorrow about Phil Knight? Do you see any plans to go see that?
I'm going to see it. I'm definitely going to see it. I'm excited about it. It'll be, I know it's a movie and it's not, strictly true fact, but obviously where we're at the University of Oregon wouldn't exist without Phil and Penny Knight. And, I think the story, everybody sees the baby, not everybody sees the labor pains, like how they got to where they're at today. I'm excited to see that story and what it looks like.
When you're replacing so many guys on the O-line, Alex in particular, Dan, there's no other center in the country calling audibles. The volume of experience that he had. So when you're making a change there, that's coming. How much do you have to kind of change, maybe not expectations, but Alex did so many things for you that these other guys don't do. So when you're looking for a new one, if you're having that competition this spring, what are you looking for in that position?
Yeah, ultimately, you let your players do what they're able to do, right? And you don't limit what their abilities are, right? So Alex had grown over time to a guy that could make those calls, could make changes, identify things. We're not there yet. We don't have that necessarily yet, but that comes with experience. So the more experience we get, the more we can create opportunities for players to take advantage of what's in their tool belt.
All right, thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach.